Life. Something so simple, yet so complex. Never confuse life's simplicity with easiness. We're all born the same way, yet one's life is identical to no other. I discovered life in its most raw and explicit form in high school, because it was the very first period of my life where I was truly alone and on my own. I left my parents and friends back in Italy to experience a fresh start back where I was born. From that moment on, there would be no more pats on the back, expressing feelings to someone in a moment of need, no one to pick you up once you'd fallen. There would be no more comfort that only a mother can give, and there would be no more guidance that only a father can give. It was just me, the plans for the future ahead of me, and my morals passed on from my parents. And in front of me, high school. Prior to being a high school student, I was convinced that its experience would be fun, while maturing and expanding my knowledge to the classes offered, of course. But when reflecting back, I'm surprised that most of the mental enrichment received was not from courses like trigonometry or AP English, but from day-to-day life and the decisions one makes in high school. I learned how to love, then learned how it's only a fictitious and non-existent notion that people like to believe they experience only to fill a void inside them with happiness in an unhappy world. I learned how to make friendships, new friendships, and then learn how even the closest friends can turn their back to you when you need them the most. I learned how hard and different it is to live for years without your parents. I learned how the sources of my weakness were the sources of my enemy's strength. I learned that everybody is your enemy. I learned to trust no one. I learned to love no one. I learned to get back up from the ground when knocked down, both mentally and physically. Philosophers spend their entire lives trying to understand and decrypt the meaning of life, and I couldn't fully understand why they would devote so much time in understanding something that should be lived just to be lived. Why overanalyze a gift given when you can simply enjoy it for as long as it lasts? I just couldn't understand. But ever since I began my journey in high school, I started to gain all the pieces that answer that very same question. It is the fear of death that motivates mankind's question of life. Life, just like glass, can crack. It can also shatter, and once it does, its pieces cannot be put back together. And the only way you can truly understand the meaning of life and to fully appreciate its value is to travel towards and fight its insidious and dangerous opposite, death. High school isn't about understanding what you want to be in life. It's about understanding who you are. High school, almost like a giant obstacle course, builds you up and trains you for what's ahead of you. It strengthens your backbone, it matures you and prepares you to overcome the next challenge, whatever that may be. I didn't just learn how to survive high school and my personal downfalls. I learned how to defeat them. When at my lowest, I still had the power to climb back up and even defeat death. High school can be hard. Everybody experiences it differently, but that's exactly what high school is. It's not a building or an education, it's an experience. It defines who you are. And if I was given the chance to do it all over, I would, but I wouldn't change a thing. I do it all over just for the pleasure of reliving certain moments, not to modify my past. I wouldn't even change things that I regret, because without them, you would not be who you are right now. Now that I'm near the end of this great journey, I can honestly look back and smile. High school.